Hey, what's up, everybody? Welcome to another episode of Superstars Picks Reviews. And obviously, the superstar that picked us is the same one. It's Sasha Banks. And this time she picked a match from Unforgiven 2006, and that was a tables, ladders, and chairs match, which is TLC for short, for the WWE Championship. It was WWE Champion Edge versus John Cena. Now, obviously, I got to go through the background for this. Edge and John Cena's feud was probably the best feud of John Cena's career. I don't think it was the best feud of Edge's career, but it was probably one of his best feuds of his career. What a great feud this was. It was probably the best feud of 2006. Um, I don't know if it was voted the best feud of 2006, but I can obviously look into that. Um, but it's got to be one of John Cena's best feuds he's ever had. Mainly because it's like the most personal feud he's had, and it's at least a feud he's had where he actually put over somebody. I know that doesn't happen very much, so I think it's probably the best feud that John Cena's had. I don't think a lot of people would argue against that. But let's talk about the build up to this match. So this all started off at New Year's Revolution when Edge cashed in his Money in the Bank briefcase on John Cena. This was after the event, where John Cena wrestled in that Elimination Chamber match and was bloody and weakened. So Edge chose that moment to cash in his Money in the Bank briefcase. It's what we see nowadays, but since it was the first time it had been done, it was original, it was unique, and it was awesome. So Edge had won the WWE Championship, and it was he had won the Money in the Bank briefcase at WrestleMania 21, and they had been building this for a long time. But then, and then it led to Edge having that live sex celebration, and Edge was doing some really interesting things with that WWE Championship. And then obviously it didn't end up very well for him because 3 weeks later at the Royal Rumble, John Cena won the championship back from Edge, which sucked. Obviously, it sucked because Edge should have main evented WrestleMania 22, but it just sucked. So after that happened, Edge had his rematch on Raw. He lost, and then the feud kind of took a break for a little bit. Then they were kind of putting the feud back on and on. They had like a triple threat match at Backlash that John Cena was victorious in, and eventually then they had another triple threat match on Raw where Edge pinned John Cena and won the WWE Championship, and then the feud continued from there. On Saturday night's main event, Edge got himself disqualified so he could keep his WWE Championship. So then there was enough was enough. At SummerSlam 2016 in Boston, Massachusetts, John Cena's hometown, Edge would have to defend the WWE Championship again. But this time, if he got himself counted out or disqualified, he would lose the WWE Championship. And obviously, they try to make it play out where if you're in your hometown, you have home field advantage, even though WWE, if you know their history, no guy ever wins in their hometown. So Edge retained his WWE Championship over John Cena via cheating using brass knucks. And then Edge decided to end the reign of John Cena, end the John Cena era, and usher in a new era. So he um, had his girlfriend Lita throw the WWE Championship in the Long Island Sound, and have his own spinner championship with the rated R symbol there. And John Cena wasn't having any of that. John Cena attacked Edge, and he threw him in the Long Island Sound. So Edge wanted something to be done about this. He wanted to rid himself of John Cena. So John Cena gave Edge a proposal. He gave a contract from the desk of SmackDown General Manager Teddy Long, and he would sign that contract if he defended if Edge defended the WWE Championship against him one more time. And if John Cena lost, he would go to SmackDown. No exceptions, no questions. That's it. So Edge agreed to it on two conditions: if he could decide when and where when if he could decide when, where, and what kind of match this was going to be. So John Cena agreed. So then later on in the night on Raw, Edge attacked John Cena during his match, and he attacked him with tables, ladders, and chairs, and he revealed that this would be the stipulation. It would be a TOC match on Unforgiven in Edge's hometown, Toronto, Canada, and Edge would obviously continuously play up on it. This feud was very personal too, because prior to this, before even SummerSlam, Edge invaded John Cena's house and slapped the shit out of his father. So this was a really personal feud, and I loved it. We get the match. and I think what really makes this match is the crowd. The crowd was pro Edge, um, anti Cena. This was exactly like One Night Stand, but not as hostile. 2006. And let's get to the commentators. We had Jerry the King Lawler and Jim Ross on commentary for this match. And I'll just start off by talking about the match itself. Obviously, I did like how they had Edge come out first. And they tried to play it up like Edge manipulated so that way he could come out first, so he would manipulate the crowd to hate John Cena. That's exactly what happened. And I kind of like this, obviously, this is pretty much what you would see as a crowd reaction with John Cena nowadays. Maybe not so much nowadays because he's not really in the limelight as much, but maybe back in 2012, 2011, I would even say 2010, 2013, when he was like really the face of the company and stuff. This is pretty much what a John Cena match would have been. His opponent would get all the praise and he would get all the boos. And that's pretty much exactly what happened here. Except the WWE actually embraced it. And you could also talk about too. This is WWE trying to make it John Cena look like he has to go through all these obstacles when all along John Cena's the real obstacle. But in this case, it actually did work. So let's talk about the match. John Cena continuously outpowered Edge in the beginning of the matchup, and Edge slapped John Cena and pretty much got Cena all fired up. Where Cena ended up tackling Edge into the ground and laying waste with him with right hands. And when Cena went to go for a backdrop, and Edge ended up counting him into a neck breaker, and Edge took control of this matchup for a while. He threw John Cena into the barricade. He grabbed the steel chair and hit Cena right in the ribs with it, and he went to hit him right across the back, but Cena ducked out of the way, and Cena took control of the matchup, but then Edge hit a wicked clothesline, but then Edge hit an implanted DDT right onto Cena, and Edge started to really take control. He threw Cena into the barricade. He set up a ladder and hit Cena right across the face with it while he was prone up against the ropes. He hit a drop kick right off the barricade right into the ladder, setting Cena face first into it, and then eventually Cena hit a hip toss right into a ladder that was leaned up against the turnbuckles, and then the match and then Cena started to make his comeback. He got Edge into an STF while he was in the ladder, which I thought was a nice touch because he grabbed the ladder and hit Edge right across the back with it. He hit his typical 5 moves of doom, the implanted power bomb, which I don't even think we have ever learned the name of that move. He hit the 5-knuckle shuffle, but instead of hitting it regularly, he went off a ladder and hit it, which I thought was really cool. And Cena hit a FU, which is weird calling it the FU because it's been the attitude adjustment for so many years. To a ladder right onto Edge, which was a unique spot. And Edge hit some nice stuff in this match. He hit Cena right off the back with the chair. He hit him right off the skull with the chair. He hit a DDT on the floor. And he threw Cena off the out of the ring and hit a plancha right off a ladder right on the outside onto Cena, which I thought was wicked cool. And then John Cena hit Edge off the head with a steel chair. And then Edge set up these 2 ladders and went to put Cena through it, but Cena saw it coming. And then the match really starts to spill into chaos. And they both try to win the championship, but Edge continuously, but Edge and Cena would continuously stop each other. And Cena powerbombed Edge into the ladder, and it looked like Cena was on the verge of winning the championship, but then Lita came out and tipped the ladder over and sent Cena right through a table right in front of his father, who was sitting in the crowd. And it looks like Edge was going to retain the championship, but then John Cena got back into the ring. Lita hit him in the back with a chair, but because of the impacts, it caused Cena to tip the ladder over onto Edge, and Edge went crashing through a table. And then Cena laid out Lita with the FU, and then Cena went to climb the ladder, and Edge climbed the ladder. They both trade shots on the ladder, and then Cena picks up Edge for the FU. FUs him through two tables that were stacked up, and grabs the championship and wins the championship. And John Cena wins the WWE championship, and you could kind of see the emotion that the crowds were hostile about it, but they kind of were a little bit respectable about it. And then afterwards, he goes and hugs his father, and then the show goes off the air. And that was pretty much the match. Overall, this is actually a really good match. I really enjoyed it. There was it isn't like a 4-star match, but it's still really good. It's very close. I'll give it 3 3/4. There was a botch spot in this match I didn't mention where Edge went for a sunset flip powerbomb through the table, but I think Cena was a little bit too heavy for Edge to do that too, so he just kind of fell flat. So then Edge had to improvise and scoop slam Cena through the table instead. I didn't mention that spot, so that was a little bit weird, but overall, this is still a really good match, and I think it might be the best match they've ever had in their feud. I think it's really good, and it's a really good story of John Cena trying to come back. But I think why this match doesn't quite get 4 stars is it's a typical John Cena match where they go through the motions, and we're supposed to believe he has to go through all these obstacles, and he just ends up overcoming them anyways, and then you just move the hell on. This was kind of the start into that, and they tried to make it seem like this was new territory for Cena where he got hated, but even though he was kind of starting to get hated around this time anyways, so that was just kind of stupid. And for the aftermatch, Edge would go on to invoke his rematch clause on an episode of Raw in a steel cage match where Cena was victorious, and then this was kind of like the reign of Cena. Cena held this title forever. It felt like he held this title over a year. And it took him getting injured for him to finally lose the championship. And then obviously while Edge was doing this, he went on to win the Money in the Bank briefcase. He didn't win it in the ladder match. He actually beat somebody for the briefcase, and then he cashed it in on the Undertaker and did his feud with the Undertaker, and probably Edge's best feud he's ever had. Um, and he did his feud with the Undertaker, and then Edge would have a few more world title reigns, but prior to feuding with Cena again, and Cena had a couple of world title reigns, and then they reignited the feud in 2009 when Edge stole Kofi Kingston's spot in the Elimination Chamber and won the World Heavyweight Championship. And obviously, they reignited that feud. They had the triple threat match that also involving Big Show at WrestleMania, where Cena won that, and then they had the final match against each other when Edge beat him in the last man standing match to win the title at Backlash, and then obviously they had a few more matches with each other like in 2010 and stuff, but then in 2011 Edge ended up retiring, and he will probably never wrestle again. They did do a segment on Raw recently, not recently, back in 2012, talking about their feud one final time and stuff, so that was nice. And then obviously John Cena would continue to be the face of the company until about maybe 2016, and now he's kind of transitioning into a part-time role. He's pretty much a part-timer now, but yeah, that's basically it. He's pretty much going into film and acting now. I want to talk about too that you could really see that Edge was trying to struggle to stay in character, because you could tell he was getting a little bit emotional when they were doing the introductions talking about this match. So I thought that was nice, and it was a nice touch. And then going through what Sasha Banks thought about this match, he loved that Edge was that slimy heel and that John Cena had to overcome all these obstacles, and how the crowd really made the match, which she's not wrong about. So that's pretty much what she thought about this match, and that's pretty much the end of this video. So that's pretty much it, guys. Thank you guys for watching this video. Please make sure you guys like, comment, and share this video so people watch it. Make sure you guys subscribe to this channel for more content, and click on the bell so that way every time I upload a video, you guys will get the notifications for it. Make sure you guys do the same thing for CM Brothers and on the Talkinator YouTube channels, and that's pretty much it, guys. Talk to you later.